And it's kind of a rant. I have had it up to here, beyond here. I can't even reach high enough. Okay, with this whole comparison and all this BS claiming that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. Okay, I'm gonna just list off a handful of stats that just proves that LeBron James is a good player. I'm not taking that away. He's a great player. Okay, I would say the greatest small forward of all time, but he is not better than Michael Jordan. And I'm tired of the young generation who has never seen him play, claiming that he's the greatest of all time. And I'm talking about LeBron James. Never seen him play, claiming he's the greatest of all time. You never saw Michael Jordan play. First off, I'm not going to get the numbers yet. I'm going to compare the NBA now to then. Now, if MJ played now, he would average 50 points a game. Okay, shooting a very high shooting percentage. He'd get at least 25 free throws a game. Because it's not physical enough. It's not a physical enough game to stop him. In a physical game, he dominated. He dominated the NBA at 6'6" as a guard, a two guard, in the time when it had the greatest big men probably in the history of the game ever. Okay? I could name off a lot of them. I'm not going to. I'm not going to waste my time. Look it up. The best big men in the history of the game. I'll name a couple. Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon. Okay? Let's see. You have Baylor. You have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You have Mutombo. He was around then. I want to say Alonzo Mourning, but he might have been a little later. He's probably a little later. Patrick Ewing. Bird wasn't a great one, but you got Malone. You have Perkins. Okay? There's a lot. I could look it up right now. I'm not going to. I'm not going to waste my time looking it up. Because if you don't know this, don't tell me I'm wrong. Go look it up. He played against tons of Hall of Famers. Not hundreds, but tons. Okay? Tons of Hall of Famers. There's not even a comparison on how many big men he played against compared to what LeBron James has to deal with. Okay? So if MJ played in this era of basketball, he would be averaging 50 plus points a game. At a high percentage, he'd get a lot of free throws, and I'm pretty sure he'd still be the defensive juggernaut he is. Okay? That's the first thing. Second, titles. Jordan is 6 for 6 MVPs. LeBron James, I think now he's 2 for 5, if I remember correctly. He's 2 for 5. He lost. First one he lost to San Antonio, and I'm tired of hearing excuses on that. That team is one of the highest defensive efficiency teams to ever make it to the finals. Okay? And he didn't lose those games by a lot of points. He lost his games by a combined average of like 5 points. So they were in every game. He just didn't do enough to pull it out. He did a good job and gave him a chance. But I don't want to hear that. He was in the finals and he lost. It's that simple. It's not an excuse. I'm sorry. San Antonio's a great team, but it's not an excuse. You've got to win those games. MJ would have won those games. You can say what you want, but he would have. MJ would have averaged a triple-double every game if he had to. Mavericks, LeBron James didn't even show up. Say what you want. Now, he did win 2. Okay, and that's with the Heat. He did win those 2. I'll give him that. Okay. Then he lost, and he lost last year. Okay. He lost, and he lost last year. So that's 2 and 4. 2 and 6. He has 2 final MVPs and 4 losses. Not even close comparison. Okay. Now, let's also compare this. LeBron James plays in the weakest conference in probably the history of the game. The Eastern Conference is a joke. And I think I laugh every year whenever he ends up having to play like 6 or 7 game series and he's playing against the weakest conference in the history of the NBA. Okay? So those are just points off the top of my head. Now I'm going to throw some stats at you. Okay? And the reason why it set me off is I saw a post on Facebook, and the post says this. It's comparing LeBron James' first 10 playoff appearances to Michael Jordan's. Okay? And what it says, it's asinine that it says this. LeBron James has 5,020 points, MJ has 4,165 points. Rebounds, 1,558. Rebounds for MJ is 806. 1,188 assists for LeBron. 783 assists for MJ. 305 steals, 281 steals, 159 blocks, 123 blocks. That is asinine stats, and here's why. LeBron James has played 57 more games to this point in the playoffs than MJ did. Why? MJ won a lot of his games, first off. First few years, no, he lost first year, second year, and third year, I think, in the playoffs. He has 4, 3, and 3. First 3 years in the playoffs. LeBron James' first year had 13 playoff games. 13 playoff games. First 10. I'm sorry, he had 10. 10 playoff games. Okay, they play 7-game series now. Back when MJ started, I think they only played 5-game series, and that's the first 2 rounds. In the 7th round, I think you had to get the 7th round to get to 7th round. 3rd round, the Eastern Conference Championship to get to 7 games. Okay, so it's a horrible factor considering MJ played 57 less games. So I did the numbers, and you can call me anal if you want, but I did the numbers. So basically, I took all of Jordan's stats, and I went and looked up all of his stats. Okay, and I just took the averages of what he did those 10 years. Took the averages, averaged them out, and times them by 57 to see how much he could have projecting how many points he could have had if he played 57 more games. In all these stats here. Okay, so after taking the average, Michael Jordan averaged 34.87 points per game. So roughly 35, but for the sake of argument, 34.87 points per game through the playoffs in his first 10 years of the season in the league. Times that by 57, you have 1,987 points. Now do the math. 1,987 it's 0.59 points plus 4,165 points. It's not even close. You're adding, first off, you're adding 1,000, so right there you have more than him. Then you add the 987. Now you're adding another 1,000 more to MJ or to LeBron, and then like another 50. Okay, it's not even close. It's not even a fair comparison. It's 1,000 more points, a higher shooting percentage. I haven't got into that yet. Shooting percentage for MJ throughout the playoffs was about a 48%. It's like 47.9 or 4.87 is what it is. I'll look real quick to double check to make sure I'm saying that properly. Yeah, it's 40. Let me scroll down here. Yeah, there it is. It's rough. I just saw it. Where'd it go? There it is. 48.7 was his shooting percentage. Okay, that's almost 49%. LeBron James is hovering around. I'm getting it. Give me 1 second. Shooting percentage is hovering around like 47 on the dot. 47.3 is what he's hovering around. So higher shooting percentage. Okay, would have scored 1,000 more points. So let's factor all that in. So that's just that. Now, I will give LeBron James credit. He is a better rebounder. He's a better rebounder because a lot of people use this as why LeBron James is so great, is he doesn't have a huge big man. Well, he had Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Anderson Varejão's first 2 years. Both of them are solid players. When he played in South Beach, he did play with Bosch. He did play with Giannis Haslam. Now, I understand, Anderson Varejão. I understand they're not like elite rebounding big men, but LeBron James, part of him going there was accepting that he would play some of the power forward spot because they went small. They had Bosch and then him at the 4, then they ran with small guards so they could trap and play defense and run a really up-tempo game. That's what he sacrificed. He played to that. Okay, so after doing the numbers, you add about, I think it's 309 rebounds to MJ. So LeBron still has about 500 more rebounds. So I'll give him that. He's a fantastic rebounder. He should. He's almost a good. It's 400 more. Okay. He's 2 inches taller. Okay. And the game, to be fair, now is a lot shorter. There's not a lot of 7-footers, or at least big aggressive 7-footers anymore. Okay. 6'8", 20 years ago, he'd have been playing in the post. He wouldn't have been a perimeter player, and he wouldn't have been guarded by guard-like players. Okay? Rebound or assists. I do the assist numbers. You add on 361 assists. It roughly hovers around the same. It's 44 less. Okay? So they're about the same. LeBron James just barely edges him out. But he's supposed to be a power forward, or a small forward, not a point guard. Okay? He's a fantastic point forward. If anything, he should be compared to Magic Johnson and not MJ. Now you look at steals. 305 steals for LeBron, 281 steals for MJ. Okay? When you do the numbers, MJ averaged about 2.5 steals a game in the playoffs. Times that by 57, you have 132 more steals. He's got over 100 more steals than LeBron James. Okay? Not even close. Again, blocks. You add, it's a 1.1 block a game, 58 more blocks. He edges out in blocks. Barely, but he does edge him out. Okay? So, if you want all these numbers written down, I'll write them down and I'll post them on here. But those are the main numbers. Got the shooting percentage. The shooting percentage, Micheal Jordan shot better. 3-point percentage. And just regular field goal percentage. And I didn't check his free throws. Let me check free throw percentage. Free throw percentage, average through is 30 or 82%. LeBron James is averaging 75. So MJ is a better shooter all around. He's a better all around scorer. Okay. He's a better free throw, 3-point, and field goal percentage shooter. He's a better scorer, better scoring average, better defender. Okay. Now I'm going to get into his accolades, his first 10 years in the game, since people want to bring that up. LeBron James has had 4 MVPs. That's a great accomplishment. He's finished second once and finished third once. Honestly, though, he should be the MVP every year. There's no one in the league it compares to. He's leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. Okay? MJ's had 3, and he finished second twice, and he finished third twice. Okay? So he was considered 7 years, and LeBron James was only considered 6. Champions. MJ in his first 10 years, to be fair, according to the thing, the first 10 years he's had 3 titles and 3 tries. LeBron just had 2 titles and 4 tries. Finals MVP. MJ has had 3 Finals MVPs and was first person to win 3 consecutive Final MVPs. And then we later repeat that. Okay? And the only other person to ever do that was Shaquille O'Neal. LeBron James has 2. Scoring titles. MJ has 7 scoring titles. LeBron James has 1. Steals titles. MJ has 3. LeBron James has 0. Rookie of the Year. Obviously, they both got that. Defensive Player of the Year. MJ had 1 Defensive Player of the Year. And LeBron James has had 0. Okay, I'm looking at that. In the same year he won the Defensive Player of the Year, he also led the league in steals per game, points per game, and he also won the MVP. All in the same year. Scoring titles. LeBron James has had, and MVPs in the same year, I'm sorry. MJ had 3, and LeBron James had 0. MVPs and Finals MVPs, 2 and 2. That's dead even. Okay. Scoring title and steal titles in the same season. MJ's had 3, LeBron's had 0. Scoring titles, MVPs, and Finals MVPs the same season. MJ 2, LeBron James 0. Scoring titles and Finals MVP in the same season. MJ's had 3, LeBron James had 0. Games played. I just went over this. And actually this says a lot more numbers in his first 10 years. MJ, it says, I had this, I think this is going over his whole career, not just his first 10 years. You have more games played by LeBron James in 765, and MJ's played 684 his first 10 years. You also got to factor in that MJ took a year off. He retired. And he came back and played the last 17 games of the 94-95 season. He also had a broken foot in one of his years, the majority of his second season in the year. So that explains a lot of why he didn't have that many points, but he did have enough. Minutes played. LeBron James has more minutes played, but I just explained why that is. You had a majority of his sophomore campaign he missed because he injured his foot, and he also didn't play in 1993, 93-94 season because he retired. Okay, he went to go play baseball. Regular season averages. MJ averages 32.2 points per game. LeBron James averages 27.6. Assists. LeBron James averages one more. 5.9 for MJ, 6.9 for LeBron. Rebounds. One more for each. One more. LeBron has one more than MJ. Steals per game. MJ has one more. Blocks per game. MJ has 0.2 more. Career field goal percentage. MJ, his whole career, regular season averages 51.4%. LeBron's 49. I could just go down and check on on the thing on who does what better. It says on here 30.7 on his 3-point percentage. It is his first 10 years, to be fair. MJ got really good at shooting threes later in his career. And I think this is a little bit. I don't think this is only last year. It's not counting this year because he's shooting a horrible 3-point percentage, but it doesn't matter. First 10 years, 84.5% free throw shooting, 74 for LeBron. And there's a breakdown here. So all in all, I'm tired of the comparison. If you really want to know and educate yourself on how good MJ was compared to LeBron, go watch some games. Don't just assume because you're watching it now that it's your choice on who the greatest is. It's not your choice. Okay? There's a reason why it's established that he is the greatest of all time. Okay? Never losing in the finals. That's the first thing. 6 for 6. 6 MVPs. Never losing in the finals. Never letting the game go to 7. A series go to 7 games. Okay? If he wouldn't have retired, they would have won 8 straight. People don't understand that. He retired for 2 years. If he had never retired, they'd have won 8 straight. He might have had 8. I'm almost 90% positive. He'd have had 8 straight titles. With 8 straight MVPs. That's a feat no one would ever touch. But he retired to go play baseball because it's what his father wanted because his father passed away. A lot of people don't know that. I am not saying by any stretch of the imagination that LeBron James is not a good basketball player. He is, if not, a great basketball player. He is the greatest point forward ever. I will give him that accolade. Okay? But he's not better than MJ. He will never be better than MJ. He can eclipse all of MJ's numbers, but it's skewed. The playoff numbers will be skewed because he's going to play more games. When MJ played, first round was 5 games, best of 5. And if he swept you, it's 3 games. LeBron James does this 4. You're already 1 ahead. And I'm pretty sure second round was the same exact thing. Okay? And the only 7 rounder, the only time we went 7 games was the championship series. Okay, the Eastern Conference and Western Conference championships. Okay, also got this little tidbit out there. LeBron James has never had 10 triple doubles in 11 games. MJ did. He had Scottie Pippen and I want to say Rodman out, or it might have just been one or the other, or both. I don't remember which, but I know this is a true fact. He had 10 triple doubles in 11 games. Imagine that. Okay? And everyone says, oh, he's not a good passer, he's not this. No, MJ's just a better scorer. He didn't feel like passing. And where he got the ball in the triangle, we got to factor in that he got one-on-one isolation. And if you doubled him, that opened up a lot of other people. And he knew how to fight through double teams. Okay? He is the greatest ever. He does never, it's going to sound stupid, it's probably not going to, he never not showed up when it really counted. Here's the big difference between MJ and LeBron. If MJ's team was going down and losing, he would put up 43 or 65 or 50 and say, "We didn't lose because of me. I put up my points. That's on somebody else. I did my part. I did my best." There are times in LeBron James' career where he's just given up and he doesn't try to put on a couple extra points or doesn't do his part to make sure they can't blame him. And that is the big deal between LeBron James and MJ. And that's why if they ever played each other one-on-one, MJ would murder him. Psychologically, MJ would just demoralize him to the point where he wouldn't want to play basketball anymore. It's basically how it is. So I know I'm going to get ridiculed for this, and frankly, I don't care. I have my opinion, and I have the numbers that back me up. Okay, so see ya. If you have any comments to me, I'm more than welcome. You're more than welcome to send them to me. My Twitter account is Geek Nerd Fan Man. All the letter of each word is capitalized, first letter. So capital G Geek, capital N Nerd, capital F Fan, and capital M Man. Okay. See ya.